Hey, Jason here from Simply Swider. If your Maytag washer is leaking water from the bottom, you're in the right place. In the next 12 minutes, I'll walk you through the four most common causes. And the good news is, most of these fixes will save you a dollar 200 plus service call. Before we get started, if you run into any questions, jump into our Facebook group, links in the description. We've got thousands of people helping each other fix their appliances, and I pop in there daily to help out. So the drain pump, this is the big one. This little guy moves water from the tub to the drain hose during the drain and spin cycle. When it fails, you'll see water dripping directly from the pump housing onto the floor. Here's what's actually happening behind the scenes. Either the bearings wear out, causing the impeller shaft to wobble and break the seal, or foreign objects like coins or socks get into the pump and literally rub a hole in the plastic casing. I had this customer last month who called me in a panic about water everywhere. Turned out her kid left a quarter in his pocket, and that thing had been bouncing around in the pump for months until it wore right through the housing. Now, here's where most people mess up. They see water near the pump and immediately think the pump's bad. But sometimes it's actually the hose clamp directly above it that's loose and water's just dripping down onto the pump. Don't ask me how I know that, but I've seen people spend $90 on a new pump when a 50-cent clamp would have fixed it. Here's your step-by-step check. First, unplug the washer for safety. Next, tilt the washer back 45 degrees or remove the front panel. You'll see the pump in the bottom left corner, about the size of a soup can. Run a drain cycle and watch for active dripping from the black plastic pump housing or pooling water directly beneath it. You'll also hear screeching or humming noises during drain if the bearings are shot. If you see water actually coming from the pump body itself, it's replacement time. These are sealed units. You can't repair them. Next up is the center tub seal, and this one's sneaky. This rubber seal sits where the drive shaft enters the tub. Think of it like a gasket on your car engine. When it fails, you'll see water dripping from the very center underneath your washer. And here's the key detail. During spin cycle, that water gets flung outward in a circular spray pattern inside the cabinet. Here's what happens over time. Age, detergent buildup, and just normal wear break down that rubber seal. Once water starts getting past it, it can damage the tub bearings and even the transmission. I remember this lady who ignored a small leak for months. By the time I got there, her washer sounded like a jet engine during spin, and we ended up having to replace the whole drivetrain. The early warning sign here is that roaring noise during spin. That's your bearing telling you they're about to give up. Here's how you check. Pull off that front panel and run a wash cycle. Look right at the center area above the transmission. If you see water dripping or that telltale sling pattern of watermarks radiating outward inside the cabinet, you found your culprit. Now, I gotta tell you, this repair is no joke. It requires significant disassembly and specialty tools like a spanner wrench. If your transmission already has rust damage from the leak, it might be more cost effective to replace the whole transmission rather than just the seal. Let's talk about internal hoses, specifically the tub to pump hose and the drain hose itself. These rubber hoses connect your tub to the pump and the pump to your external drain. The tub to pump hose fails when clamps corrode or lose tension, or the rubber develops cracks. The drain hose usually gets pinhole leaks from vibration, causing it to rub against the cabinet or floor. Here's something most people don't know. These hoses are under pressure and constant movement. After years of that, something's got to give. I had this guy call me about water pooling behind his washer. We pulled it out, and sure enough, the drain hose had been rubbing against a sharp edge on the cabinet frame. Looked like someone took a drill bit to it. Here's your check. Inspect those hoses while the machine fills and drains. Look for visible cracks, wetness at clamp connections, or pinholes along the hose length. For the tub to pump hose, you can actually squeeze it gently to reveal cracks that hide in those accordion folds. Don't attempt to tape or patch these. Pressure hoses need proper replacement. And here's where people get confused. Sometimes you'll see water on the pump and think the pump's bad when it's actually just the hose clamp above it that's loose. Last one we're checking is the water inlet valve. That's where your hot and cold water lines connect. This fails when the plastic body cracks, usually from freezing if you didn't winterize properly or from over tightening those supply connections. You might also get solenoid failure causing constant drips. Here's the telltale sign. If your washer fills with water when it's unplugged and turned off, you've got a valve problem. You'll also see water dripping from the back of the machine inside the cabinet area. Here's what I've learned over the years. Most people think it's their supply hose connection when it's actually a crack in the valve body itself. The check is pretty straightforward. Look for moisture around the valve body inside the console or back panel area. You can also test by shutting off the water supply and seeing if water still drips into the tub when the machine's off. If the valve body is cracked, replacement is your only option. Don't be a hero and try to seal it with epoxy. I've seen that go very wrong. The drain pump costs $20 to $90 depending on your model, and this is a great DIY repair. I'd rate it 4 out of 5 for difficulty. Expect about 45 minutes to an hour if you're handy with basic tools. Compare that to a $150 plus service call, and you're saving real money here. You're looking at a 5/16 inches nut driver and some pliers, and you're good to go. Here's the thing, pumps are sealed units, so there's no repairing them if the housing cracks or the seal goes bad. It's straight replacement. Labor at a shop is going to run you $150 or more, so this is definitely one where you can save yourself some serious money. Just make sure you disconnect power first. Safety first, people. The center tub seal itself is only 20 to 110 bucks for the part, but this repair is a whole different animal. I'm rating this a 1 out of 5 for DIY difficulty, meaning it's really tough. You need specialty tools like a spanner wrench and hub removal tool, plus you're basically disassembling the entire drivetrain. Labor's going to run you $200 to $300 or more because of the complexity. Here's where it gets tricky. If water damage has already gotten to your transmission or tub bearings, you might be looking at replacing those components too. On a washer that's 7 to 10 years old, that kind of repair bill might not make economic sense. The water inlet valve is going to run you 30 to 60 bucks, and it's another pretty straightforward repair. I'd rate it a 4 out of 5 for DIY difficulty. Main thing is you need to be comfortable removing the control console or back panel to access it. One warning, don't cross thread those plastic threads when you install the new one. Hand tight plus just a little more with pliers is all you need. Over tightening is actually what causes a lot of these valves to crack in the first place. All right, if you're dealing with faulty parts, let's talk about what you're looking at cost-wise and whether it makes sense to tackle these repairs yourself. The good news is most of these parts aren't going to break the bank, and several of these repairs are totally doable for a DIY person, way cheaper than calling someone like me out for a service call that's going to run you a couple $100 minimum. Now, before we wrap up, you can see right there on your screen the most common Maytag models that deal with these bottom leak issues. The Bravos and Centennial series are particularly prone to drain pump problems because the pump sits low in the cabinet and catches a lot of debris damage. The Bravos XL top loaders often develop that tub seal and bearing issue. You'll hear that roaring noise I mentioned before the leak shows up. If you've got one of the older dependable care models, watch out for that injector valve leak I talked about. And the front load models like the 2000 and Max series can get door boot issues that look like bottom leaks but are actually coming from the front door seal. That's your complete guide to fixing Maytag washer bottom leaks. Your action plan: first, unplug your washer and remove that front panel. Second, start with the drain pump check since that's 40% of all cases. Third, work through tub seal, internal hoses, and inlet valve in that order. Remember, it's almost never those external hoses you can see from behind. The key is getting that front panel off so you can actually see what's happening inside. Early warning signs matter here. If you hear roaring noises during spin, that's your tub seal, and bearings telling you they need attention before they turn into a major leak. If this helped you track down your leak, hit that like button and drop a comment below. Let me know which fix worked for you. Really helps other people with the same problem. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day.